The sun was shining brightly over Enchancia Castle, and the morning air smelled of fresh flowers from the royal garden. Everyone was busy getting ready for the Royal Heritage Festival, a grand event held only once a year. There were ribbons to hang, cakes to bake, and jewels to polish. Princess Sofia hummed a cheerful tune as she helped bailiwick place sparkling crowns on display. "Everything looks so beautiful," she said, stepping back to admire the ballroom. Amber twirled nearby, holding a golden tiara. "Of course it does. This is the royal event of the year, Sofia. Every princess from the neighboring kingdoms will be here." Sofia smiled. "That's why we have to make it special. It's not just about the decorations. It's about remembering where Enchancia came from." Bailiwick nodded approvingly. "Spoken like a true princess, Your Highness. By the way, there's one more thing we need. Could you fetch the old royal chest from the attic? It holds some of Queen Alora's keepsakes." "Of course," Sofia said eagerly. She loved the old parts of the castle, the ones that whisper with history and mystery. Clover, her bunny friend, hopped up beside her. "Did you say attic? You mean that dusty, creepy place full of old armor and ghost stories?" Sofia laughed. "Oh, Clover, it's not creepy. It's full of secrets waiting to be found." As they climbed the spiral staircase, the light grew dim. The attic was large and filled with cobwebs, paintings, and dusty boxes stacked high. The wooden floor creaked softly under Sofia's shoes. "Now, where's that chest?" she murmured, brushing dust from a shelf. Then something shiny caught her eye, a faint green sparkle coming from behind a stack of old books. Sofia carefully moved them aside and found a small brass box, decorated with tiny vines and leaf carvings. It was locked tight, but when she pressed a thumb on a carved emerald shape, it clicked open. Inside was a single emerald green key. It glowed softly, lighting up Sofia's face with a green shimmer. "Oh, wow," Sofia whispered. "It's so beautiful." Clover hopped closer. "You think it opens something fancy? Like a candy chest?" Sofia giggled. "I don't think so. It looks ancient." As she turned in her hand, she noticed strange markings etched along the edges, symbols she'd never seen before. Just then, the air in the attic grew warmer, and a gentle voice whispered through the room. "The heart of Enchancia waits to be unlocked." Sofia froze. "Clover, did you hear that?" Clover's ears twitched. "Hear what?" "All I hear is my stomach growling." Before Sofia could answer, a faint green light began to shimmer across the attic floor. It formed the outline of a door, right against the wall, where no door had ever been. It's glowing," Sofia whispered. She stepped closer, her heart racing. But just as she reached out to touch it, Bailiwick's voice called from below. "Princess Sofia, did you find the chest?" Sofia blinked, and the glowing outline disappeared. The attic fell silent again. Quickly, she slipped the emerald key into her pocket and grabbed the old chest nearby. "Coming," she called, her voice shaking a little. As she left the attic, she glanced back one last time. There was no light, no whisper, only stillness. Clover looked up at her. "You've got that adventure look again, Sofia. Please tell me we're not chasing magic doors this time." Sofia smiled softly. "I don't know what this key opens, Clover, but something tells me it's important, and we're going to find out." Outside, the castle bells rang across Enchancia, as if the kingdom itself knew a new royal mystery had just begun. That night, Sofia couldn't sleep. The emerald key rested on her bedside table, glimmering softly under the moonlight. It looked peaceful, but she couldn't stop thinking about the strange whisper in the attic. The heart of Enchancia waits to be unlocked. What did that even mean? Clover snored softly at the end of her bed, his paws twitching in his sleep. Sofia sat up and looked at the key again. "I need to find out where you came from," she whispered. The next morning, after breakfast, Sofia went straight to the castle library. The tall shelves were filled with books older than the kingdom itself. She climbed a small ladder and began scanning the dusty titles. Ancient Enchancia, Royal Mysteries, The Age of Queen Alora. Sofia murmured. Queen Alora. Maybe she's the one who made the key? She carefully pulled down a thick book bound in green velvet and opened it. The pages were yellow with age, But one illustration caught her eye. A picture Queen Elora holding a shining emerald key that looked exactly like the one Sofia had found. Her eyes widened. Beneath the picture, she read aloud softly, "The emerald key, crafted by Queen Elora, guards the greatest treasure of Enchancia, the treasure of the heart." Just then, Amber's voice echoed through the library. "Sofia, there you are. What are you reading about now?" Sofia smiled, trying to sound casual. "Just some history." Amber peeked over her shoulder and gasped. "Ooh, that's Queen Elora. She's my favorite. Did you know she built the first royal garden?" Sofia nodded slowly. "And maybe something else." Amber frowned. "You're acting mysterious again. Just don't drag me into another magical adventure. I have a festival gown to choose." As Amber left, Sofia turned back to the book. There was one more line written below the picture in faded ink. "Only a heart that's kind and brave can reveal the key's true purpose." Sofia closed the book, her mind spinning. "Kind and brave," she whispered. "Maybe that's a clue." She tucked the emerald key safely into her amulet pouch and decided to visit someone who might know more, Cedric the sorcerer. After all, if it was magic, Cedric would surely recognize it. When Sofia entered his tower, Cedric was busy mixing a bubbling purple potion. Wormwood, his raven, cackled from his perch. "Princess Sofia," Cedric said, raising an eyebrow, "what brings you to my humble laboratory? Need another flying lesson? Or perhaps a spell to make your homework disappear?" Sofia giggled. "No, Mr. Cedric. I just found something in the attic, a magical key." She held out the emerald key. Cedric's eyes widened. Well, that's no ordinary trinket. Where did you get it?" "In the castle attic. It was in a lockbox. When I touched it, I heard a voice say something about the heart of Enchancia." Cedric stroked his chin. "The heart of Enchancia, you say? That legend is older than even this castle. It speaks of a hidden chamber somewhere beneath the palace, one that holds the true power of the kingdom." Sofia leaned forward. "A hidden chamber?" "Yes," Cedric said, waving his wand to open an ancient scroll. "But be warned, many have searched for it. Only the pure of heart can even see the path that leads there." Sofia looked at the key again, her determination growing. "Then maybe that's why it found me." Cedric gave her a curious look. "Or maybe, my dear princess, you're about to unlock something far greater than you expect." Sofia smiled. "Then I guess I'd better be ready." As she left Cedric's tower, the morning sun sparkled over the castle walls. The emerald key shimmered in her hand, as if it had heard everything. Somewhere deep beneath the castle, a faint green light flickered, like a heartbeat waiting to awaken. The next morning, the castle was buzzing with excitement as the Royal Heritage Festival drew closer. But Sofia's thoughts were somewhere else entirely. All she could think about was the emerald key, and the legend Cedric had told her about the hidden chamber beneath the castle. While Amber and James practiced their royal dances in the ballroom, Sofia quietly slipped away down a side hallway, holding the emerald key close to her heart. Clover hopped beside her, nibbling on a carrot he'd taken from the kitchen. "So," he said between bites, "where exactly are we going this time? Please tell me it's not another haunted tower." Sofia smiled. "Not haunted, just hidden. Cedric said there might be a secret chamber beneath the castle. I think the key is trying to show me the way." "Yeah, sure," Clover muttered. "Just as long as there's no scary, glowing ghosts involved." Sofia looked around carefully. She had explored almost every part of Enchancia Castle. The library, the dungeons, the tower halls, but never the lower tunnels near the old storage rooms. That part of the castle was cold, quiet, and full of mystery. When she reached the end of the hallway, she noticed a faded tapestry on the wall. It showed Queen Elora standing in a forest, holding the emerald key in one hand. At her feet was a symbol, 3 leaves forming a heart. Sofia's eyes widened. "Clover, look at this." "Nice picture. Little dusty, though," Clover said. "No, look at the bottom." Sofia reached out and pressed her hand over the leaf heart symbol. The tapestry glowed softly, and a small section of the stone wall slid open with a low rumble. Behind it was a spiral staircase leading down into darkness. Clover gulped. Oh, great. The spooky stairs. My favorite. Sofia held the key tightly. Come on, Clover. We've come this far. They began to descend, their footsteps echoing softly. The air grew cooler, and the faint sound of dripping water echoed through the tunnel. The deeper they went, the brighter the key glowed, casting green light across the ancient stone walls. At the bottom, they reached a large underground hall. The floor was covered in moss, and strange carvings covered the walls, the same symbols that were on the key. Sofia ran her fingers over one of the carvings. This must be it, she whispered. The hidden chamber Cedric talked about. Clover sniffed the air nervously. Yeah, well, if you ask me, it's a little too hidden, and a little too creepy. At the far end of the hall stood a huge stone door, decorated with vines and emeralds that shimmered faintly. In the center was a small, heart-shaped hole, exactly the size of a key. Sofia's heart beat faster. This is it. She slowly placed the emerald key into the slot. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, click, the door began to glow with green light, and soft music filled the air, like a song carried by the wind. The vines on the door moved as if alive, curling away to reveal a glowing passage beyond. Sofia and Clover stepped through carefully. Inside was a beautiful underground garden, glowing flowers, shimmering pools, and crystal trees that sparkled in the light. Butterflies made of light danced through the air. Clover's mouth dropped open. Whoa! Now this is worth skipping lunch for. Sofia smiled in awe. It's like a secret world beneath the castle. At the center of the garden stood a pedestal made of pure crystal. On it rested a small emerald orb that pulsed softly, like a beating heart. The heart of Enchancia, Sofia whispered. But before she could move closer, a soft voice echoed through the chamber. Who dares enter the queen's sanctuary? A figure of glowing light appeared near the pedestal. A woman in a long gown, her face calm but powerful. Sofia gasped. Queen Allura? The figure smiled gently. You have found what many could not, young princess. But to hold the key's true power, you must prove your heart is worthy. Clover tugged at Sofia's dress. Sofia, I think she means you. Sofia took a deep breath. Then I'll do whatever it takes. The queen nodded, her eyes kind but mysterious. Then your test begins. And with a wave of her hand, the glowing chamber faded, leaving Sofia and Clover standing in a swirl of emerald mist. The emerald mist swirled around Sofia like a dream. One moment she was standing beside the crystal pedestal, and the next, everything went silent. When the mist cleared, she found herself in a vast open field filled with shimmering green light. Clover blinked beside her. Okay, either I'm dreaming, or we're not in the castle anymore. Sofia looked around. The ground sparkled like glass, and glowing flowers bloomed wherever she stepped. This must be part of the test Queen Allura mentioned, she whispered. A deep rumble echoed across the field. From the far end, a tall figure emerged, a creature made of stone and vines, with glowing emerald eyes. It looked like a lion, but its mane shimmered with magic. The guardian, Sofia breathed. The creature bowed its head slightly. Its voice was calm yet powerful. Only those pure of heart may hold the key to Enchancia's heart. To prove yourself, young princess, you must face 3 trials: wisdom, courage, and kindness. Clover hid behind Sofia's dress. 3? Why can't it ever be just one easy trial, like guessing a riddle about carrots? Sofia smiled nervously. I'm ready. The guardian's eyes glowed brighter. Then let the first trial begin, the trial of wisdom. The field shifted. Suddenly, Sofia was standing before 3 identical doors made of green crystal. Each had a symbol, a crown, a heart, and a sword. The guardian's voice echoed. Only one leads forward. Choose wisely. Sofia studied the doors. A crown for power, a sword for strength, and a heart for love. She thought about everything she'd learned as a princess. The true heart of Enchancia isn't about power or strength. It's about kindness. She placed her hand on the heart-shaped door. It glowed brightly, and the others faded away. Clover cheered. Ha! Nailed it. The guardian appeared again. Wisdom is knowing that true strength comes from compassion. You have passed the first trial. Sofia smiled, feeling more confident. What's next? The ground began to shake again. The field darkened, and tall cliffs rose up around them. A narrow bridge stretched across a deep chasm, and strong winds howled through the air. The trial of courage, said the guardian. Cross the bridge, though storms may try to stop you. Sofia took a deep breath. The bridge wobbled as she stepped onto it. The wind grew stronger, pushing at her from every side. Halfway across, she froze. Lightning flashed, and the wooden planks creaked beneath her feet. Sofia, Clover shouted from the edge. You don't have to do this. Yes, I do, she called back. Being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you keep going anyway. She steadied her breath and took one step, then another. When she reached the other side, the storm faded, replaced by warm sunlight. The guardian reappeared. Courage shines brightest in the darkest moments. You have passed the second trial. Sofia smiled with relief. That was close. Clover hopped beside her. You're telling me. My whiskers almost flew off. Then the guardian's expression softened. Now comes the final test, the trial of kindness. The scenery changed again. Sofia found herself back in the glowing garden from before, but this time a small bird lay on the ground, trapped beneath a fallen branch. Oh no! Sofia ran to help. She gently lifted the branch and cradled the tiny bird in her hands. Don't worry, little one. You're safe now. As she spoke softly to the bird, it began to glow, and then transformed into a beam of light that rose into the air. The guardian appeared once more, bowing deeply. You have shown wisdom, courage, and kindness. The heart of Enchancia recognizes you as worthy. The field around them began to fade, and Sofia felt herself being lifted by the glowing mist once again. When the light cleared, she was back in the hidden garden beneath the castle. The crystal pedestal shone brightly, and the emerald orb pulsed with life. Clover looked up at her in awe. You did it, Sofia. You passed. Sofia smiled, holding the emerald key close. I think we're about to find out what the heart of Enchancia truly is. And as the orb's light grew stronger, a gentle voice whispered once more. The true treasure is yet to be revealed. The emerald light that filled the hidden garden faded softly, and everything went quiet again. Sofia looked around, still holding the glowing key in her hand. The guardian was gone, and Clover stood beside her, his nose twitching nervously. Well, Clover said, looking around, that was one magical roller coaster. Are we finally done, or is there another big test waiting to pop out? Sofia smiled gently. Queen Allura said the key tests your heart. Maybe there's still one more thing to learn before it reveals its secret. The green orb at the center of the garden pulsed again, slow and steady, like a heartbeat. Then a soft voice echoed through the air. Kindness is not proven in grand moments, but in the smallest of choices. Suddenly, the garden shimmered and transformed. Sofia blinked and found herself standing back in the castle courtyard. Children from the village were gathered around, playing and laughing. It looked like a normal day, but something felt different. Clover tilted his head. Wait, are we back home? Or is this another test? Sofia wasn't sure. Everything looked real. The sunshine, the flowers, the sound of laughter. But there was a strange glow in the air, like a dream. Just then, Sofia saw a young girl sitting alone near the fountain. Her dress was torn, and she looked sad as she watched the others play. Sofia's heart ached. She walked over and knelt beside her. Hi there, Sofia said kindly. Why aren't you playing with the others? The girl looked up shyly. My name's Lila. I came to see the castle for the festival, but I lost my ribbon. My grandmother gave it to me. Sofia smiled warmly. Then let's find it together. As they searched the courtyard, Sofia noticed Amber walking by, admiring her reflection in a polished shield. Amber, Sofia called, have you seen a pink ribbon around here? Amber frowned. A ribbon? No, I'm far too busy making sure my dress stays spotless. Sofia gave her a patient smile. That's okay. We'll keep looking. After a while, they found the ribbon stuck in a bush near the gates. Lila's face lit up as Sofia handed it to her. You found it. Thank you, Princess Sofia. Sofia knelt down and tied the ribbon gently in Lila's hair. There. Perfect. Now go play, okay? The girl hugged her tightly before running back to join the other children. Clover hopped up beside Sofia. That was sweet, but are you sure this isn't all some sort of magic dream thing? Before Sofia could answer, everything began to glow again. The laughter faded, the castle shimmered, and suddenly she was back in a glowing garden. Queen Alora's voice filled the air, soft and kind. You have passed the true test of kindness, Sofia. Kindness is not just about great deeds. It is a gentle touch, the patient word, the choice to care when no one is watching. Sofia's eyes widened. So, helping Lila was part of the test? The air shimmered, and the glowing figure of Queen Alora appeared before her once again. Indeed, the emerald key reveals its magic only to those whose hearts are pure, not through power or bravery alone, but through compassion. Sofia held up the key, which now glowed brighter than ever. The emerald light surrounded her, warm and peaceful. The heart of Enchancia, Queen Alora continued, has always been a love and kindness that lives within its people. The key is not meant to open a chest of gold or jewels. It opens the heart of the kingdom itself. Sofia felt a lump in her throat. Then, the treasure isn't something we keep. It's something we give. The queen smiled. You understand. As the light faded, Sofia found herself standing once again in the real hidden garden, the emerald key resting softly in her hand. Clover looked up at her. So, no piles of gold or shiny crowns? Sofia giggled. No, Clover. Something much better. The emerald key shimmered one last time, then floated gently into the air, settling into the pedestal at the garden center. The entire chamber glowed with warmth, as if the castle itself was smiling. Sofia placed her hand over her heart. The true treasure of Enchancia is kindness. And in that quiet, glowing garden, Sofia finally understood what Queen Alora's message really meant. That even the smallest act of kindness could unlock the greatest magic of all. The glowing garden shimmered softly as Sofia stood before the emerald pedestal. The air felt warm and alive, almost as if the castle itself was breathing. The key rested in place, shining brighter than ever. Clover hopped beside her, blinking at the glow. So what happens now? The keys and the pedestal. You've passed all the tests, and I still haven't had lunch. Sofia laughed quietly. I don't know, Clover, but I think something magical is about to happen. As she spoke, the emerald light spread outward like ripples in water. It flowed across the chamber, through the walls, and up into the castle above. Sofia could almost feel it, like warmth in her chest, soft and kind. Whoa! Clover whispered, his eyes wide. It's spreading everywhere. The light rose higher, reaching the castle towers, the gardens, and the town beyond. It touched everything. The flowers in the royal courtyard began to bloom brighter. The fountain sparkled, and even the air seemed to hum with music. Then Sofia heard it. Voices, faint but joyful. Laughter echoed to the castle halls as people smiled at one another, helping, sharing, and greeting with kindness. Queen Miranda, up in the ballroom, suddenly felt the glow and smiled. What a lovely light, she whispered. It feels like happiness. King Roland looked out the window. It's coming from the old part of the castle. Sofia must be up to something special again. Back in the hidden garden, Sofia watched the light swirl around her. Then Queen Alora's voice returned, gentle and full of love. You have awakened the true power of the Emerald Key, Princess Sofia. Its magic was never meant to stay hidden. It was meant to remind Enchancia of what truly makes it strong. Sofia looked up. Kindness, she said softly. That's the real treasure. The queen's glowing image appeared before her once more. Yes, for long ago, I created the Emerald Key not to guard gold, but to protect the spirit of our kingdom, the spirit of caring, helping, and understanding. But over the centuries, people forgot, until you found it again. Sofia's heart swelled. Then the magic belongs to everyone. Alora smiled. Exactly. And now that the key has chosen you, its light will live through your actions, your choices, and your kindness. Wherever you go, the kingdom will feel it. The glow around Sofia grew brighter, and for a moment, She felt a gentle warmth spread from her amulet to her heart. It wasn't just light. It was love, flowing outward to everyone she cared for. Clover watched in awe. "Sophia, you're glowing like a lantern." Sophia giggled. "I guess that means it's working." When the light finally faded, the garden was calm again. The pedestal closed gently, and the key rested within it, peaceful and still. Sophia took a deep breath. "It's beautiful, Clover. The key's power isn't just in magic. It's in the good it brings to others." Clover tilted his head. "So, you mean all that glowing stuff was just about being nice?" Sophia smiled warmly. "Being kind isn't just anything, Clover. It's what keeps our world shining." They made their way back up the staircase to the castle halls. Everything seemed brighter now. The walls sparkled. The flowers were more colorful, and everyone they passed was smiling. Amber was helping Bailiwick arrange the decorations. "Oh, Sophia, look, doesn't everything look extra sparkly today?" Sophia nodded. "It's perfect. The whole castle feels happy." Amber grinned. "Well, maybe it's your smile making it brighter." Sophia laughed softly. "Maybe it's everyone's smiles together." As the day ended, Sophia stood on the balcony, watching the sun dip behind the hills of Enchancia. The golden light mixed with faint green glow still shining across the kingdom. She held her amulet, feeling the soft hum of magic inside it. "Queen Allura was right," she whispered. "Kindness is what keeps the heart of Enchancia alive." Clover leaned against her shoe. "And maybe a little adventure too, huh?" Sophia laughed. "Always a little adventure." The last rays of sunlight touched the castle towers, and the emerald glow faded gently into the stars. Its magic now carried not in a key, but in every kind heart across the land. The next morning, Enchancia sparkled brighter than ever before. The Royal Heritage Festival had finally arrived, and the entire kingdom buzzed with excitement. Streamers fluttered from the castle towers, music filled the courtyards, and laughter echoed across the gardens. Sophia stood by her window, watching people gather below. Children waved colorful flags. Carriages arrived from nearby kingdoms, and cheerful chatter filled the air. Yet, amidst all the joy, Sophia's thoughts kept returning to the hidden garden and the glowing key that now rested deep beneath the castle. "Big day, huh?" Clover said, hopping onto her windowsill. "You saved the kingdom with kindness, and now you get cake. I'd call that a win." Sophia giggled. "You're right, Clover. But it wasn't just me. Everyone in Enchancia helped by showing kindness in their own way." She fastened her amulet and took a deep breath. "Come on, we'd better head down. The festival's about to start." The castle courtyard was alive with color. Amber twirled in her golden gown. James greeted guests with a wide grin, and Queen Miranda and King Roland welcomed the visiting royals. When Sophia joined them, her mother smiled proudly. "You've worked so hard for this day, Sophia," Queen Miranda said softly. "I can see it in your eyes. Something has changed in you." Sophia nodded. "I've learned that the greatest treasure isn't in jewels or gold. It's in how we treat one another." Her father smiled warmly, spoken like a true princess. As the music began, Bailiwick announced, "Presenting Princess Sofia of Enchancia, who will share a message from the heart of our kingdom." Sophia stepped forward onto the stage. The crowd quieted, and for a moment, she felt a flutter of nerves. But then, she remembered the emerald glow, Queen Allura's kind smile, and all the lessons she'd learned. "My friends," Sophia began, her voice gentle but clear, "this festival celebrates our history and the treasures of our kingdom. But the greatest treasure isn't something we can see or hold. It's the kindness we give to each other." She looked over the crowd, farmers, children, nobles, and visiting royals, all watching her closely. When we care, when we help, when we listen, that is what makes Enchancia strong. Long ago, Queen Allura created the Emerald Key to protect our hearts from forgetting that truth. And today, its magic has been restored, not by spells, but by kindness. Amber wiped a small tear from her eye, whispering, "That's my sister." The crowd erupted into applause. The bells rang joyfully across the castle towers, and soft emerald light shimmered once more through the air, wrapping around the kingdom like a gentle hug. Later that evening, as fireworks painted the night sky, Sophia wandered back to the royal garden for some quiet. Clover followed, holding a half-eaten cupcake. "So," he said between bites, "now that you passed magical trials and saved the kingdom, what's next?" Sophia smiled, looking up at the stars. "Maybe I'll just keep doing what I've always done, helping others, being kind, and learning every day." Clover nodded. "Sounds good, but let's still make time for snacks." Sophia laughed, then grew thoughtful. "You know, Clover, the Emerald Key may be gone, but its magic is still here. Every time someone chooses to be kind, it shines again, just in a different way." From somewhere deep beneath the castle, the faintest emerald glow flickered, soft, steady, and alive. Queen Alora's voice drifted faintly on the wind, warm and proud. "You have unlocked more than a key, Princess Sofia. You have unlocked the wisdom of the heart." Sophia closed her eyes, smiling. "Thank you, Queen Alora." As the last firework lit the sky, Sophia turned toward the castle. The night sparkled with joy and music, and the whole kingdom seemed to shine a little brighter, because every person carried a piece of that emerald light within them. And from that day forward, whenever kindness was shown anywhere in Enchancia, the castle's heart glowed softly, reminding everyone that the truest magic of all comes from love,